This is a LibriVox recording. All LibriVox recordings are in the public domain. For more information or to volunteer, please visit LibriVox.org. The Sayings of Confucius from the Harvard Classics, edited by Charles W. Eliot. Book 19. 1. Zizhang said, "The scholar who in danger will stake his life, who in sight of gain remembers right, who is lowly in heart at worship, and sad at heart when mourning, may pass muster." 2. Zizhang said, "Goodness blindly clutched, faith that lacks simplicity, can they be said to be, or said not to be?" 3. The disciples of Zixia asked Zizhang about friendship. Zizhang said, "What does Zixia say?" They answered, "Zixia says, 'Cling to worthy friends, push the unworthy away.'" Zizhang said, "I was taught otherwise. A gentleman honors worth and bears with the many. He applauds goodness and pities weakness. Am I a man of great worth? What could I not bear with in men? Am I a man without worth? Men will push me away. Why should I push others away?" 4. Zixia said, "Though there is no trade without interest, a gentleman will not follow one, lest it clog the mind at length." 5. Zixia said, "Who recalls each day what fails him, who each month forgets nothing won, he may indeed be called fond of learning." 6. Zixia said, "Through wide learning and singleness of aim, through keen questions and searchings of heart, we come to love." 7. Zixia said, "To learn their trade, apprentices work in a shop. By study, a gentleman reaches the truth." 8. Zixia said, "The vulgar always gloss their faults." 9. Zixia said, "A gentleman alters thrice. Seen from afar he looks stern. As we draw near he thaws, but the sound of his words is sharp." 10. Zixia said, "A gentleman lays no burdens on the people until they have learned to trust him. Unless they trusted him, they would think him cruel. Until he is trusted, he does not reprove. Unless he were trusted, it would seem fault-finding." 11. Zixia said, "If we keep within the bounds of honor, we may step to and fro through propriety." 12. Ziyou said, "The disciples, the boys of Zixia, can sprinkle and sweep the floor, answer when spoken to, and enter or leave a room, but what can come of branches without root?" When Zixia heard this, he said, "Yen You is wrong. In training a gentleman, because we teach one thing first, shall we flag before reaching the next? Thus plants and trees vary in size. Should a gentleman's training bewilder him? To absorb it first and last, none but the holy are fit." 13. Zixia said, "Crown servants should use their spare strength for study. A scholar with his spare strength should serve the crown." 14. Ziyou said, "Mourning should stretch to grief, and stretch no further." 15. Ziyou said, "My friend Zhang can do things that are hard, but he is void of love." 16. Zhengzi said, So magnificent is Zhang that to do as love bids is hard when at his side. 17. Zhengzi said, I have heard the Master say, man never shows what is in him unless when mourning one near to him. 18. Zhengzi said, I have heard the Master say, in all else we may rival the piety of Meng Zhuang, but in not changing his father's ministers or his father's rule, he is hard to rival. 19. The Meng made Yang Fu criminal judge, who asked Zhengzi about his duties. Zhengzi said, the gentry have lost their way, and the people long been distraught. When thou dost get at the heart of a crime, be moved to pity, not puffed with joy. 20. Tsze Gong said, the wickedness of Zhou was not so great. Thus let princes beware of living in a sink where the filth of the world all streams together. 21. Tsze Gong said, the faults of a prince are like the darkening of sun or moon. The fault is seen of all, and when he breaks free, all men admire. 22. Gong Sun Chao of Wei asked Tsze Gong, where did Zhong Ni get his learning? Tsze Gong said, the law of Wen and Wu has not fallen into ruin, but lives in men. The big in big men, the small in small men. No man is empty of the law of Wen and Wu. How should the Master not learn it? What need had he for a set teacher? 23. Shu Sun Wu Shu, talking to some lords at court, said, Tsze Gong is a greater man than Zhong Ni. Tsze Fu Jingbo told this to Tsze Gong. Tsze Gong said, this is like the palace and its wall. My wall stretches to the shoulder. Peeping over, one sees the goodly home within. The Master's wall is many fathoms high. Unless he enter the gate, no man can see the beauty of the ancestral temples, the wealth of the 100 officers. And if but few men gain the gate, is my lord not right to speak as he does? 24. Shu Sun Wu Shu decried Zhong Ni. Tsze Gong said, it is labour lost. Zhong Ni cannot be cried down. The greatness of other men is a mound that can be overleaped. Zhong Ni is the sun or moon that no man can overleap. To run into death though a man were ready, how could he hurt the sun or moon? His want of sense would but show the better. 25. Chen Ziqin said to Tsze Gong, Sir, your humility is overdone. In what way is Zhong Ni your better? Tsze Gong said, by a word a gentleman betrays wisdom, by a word his want of wisdom. Words are not to be lightly spoken. None can come up to the Master, as heaven is not to be climbed by steps. Had the Master power in the land, the saying would come true, all that he plants takes root. Whither he leads, men follow. The peace he brings draws men. His touch tunes them to harmony. Honoured in life, he is mourned when dead. Who can come up to him? End of Book 19.